Alright, only Chevy Chase can make a bologna sandwich that funny. Alright guys, what's going on? Thanks for coming back for some more hot fresh popcorn. This episode we're doing round one of our bonus John Hughes films, one of the ones that he only wrote and didn't direct. The 1983 comedy National Lampoon's Vacation. Directed by Harold Ramis, written by John Hughes, and starring the great Chevy Chase. Now, before John Hughes was the director and before he was really in full control and became the legend that he was, because at the time when he was making movies, he sort of was a living legend. But he started off as a writer for the comedy magazine National Lampoons, which was a spin-off of a Harvard magazine, yeah, that's right, Harvard University, called the Harvard Lampoon. John Hughes, like I said, was hired as a writer for them, and Chevy Chase also got hired as a writer for them. And the company started in 1970, it finally ended in 1998. From the 70s all the way even through the mid-90s, National Lampoon had a pretty strong presence. They did a lot of really funny stuff. They were kind of like that Comedy World that if you liked Saturday Night Live and you liked SCTV, you could dive a little deeper and get into National Lampoon, which National Lampoon, Saturday Night Live, and SCTV were all sort of connected and involved in the same groups. Hell, you'll even see some of the characters from SCTV transfer over to Saturday Night Live, Martin Short with Ed Grimley. But it became very clear that Chevy Chase got hired as a writer for Saturday Night Live and he got hired as a writer for National Lampoon, that he had more to offer. He was better in front of the screen than anything. And man, that dude is hilarious. He's a one-of-a-kind actor that can bring some comedy to the screen that nobody else can. He's so dry and it comes off so effortlessly that you don't ever see Chevy Chase. You see whatever character he's played. But he truly can make me crack up. Even today when I was rewatching this movie, I was dying laughing at some of the Chevy Chase scenes. But quickly within National Lampoon and Saturday Night Live, they decided he needed to be in front of the camera, and he became pretty famous in the late 70s and all throughout the 80s. And 90s too. Anyways, let's jump into the movie. So this movie is basically just about Clark Griswold, that's Chevy Chase's character, wanting to take his family on this unforgettable vacation that's supposed to be amazing. And almost right away, bad things start to happen. Everything starts to go wrong. And his wife is played by the hot Beverly D'Angelo, and his son is played by, look who it is, Anthony Michael Hall. This was actually before he was in the starring roles of any of the John Hughes directed films, because this movie was before any of his directed films. But everything that you could possibly imagine goes wrong on this vacation, including crashing and getting stranded in the desert. Immediately with the intro of this movie, you get what kind of movie it's going to be, what the humor is going to be like. It's going to be fun, it's going to be lighthearted. They're showing all these postcards and these pictures and playing the famous song Holiday Road, which is perfect for a vacation film. Holiday Road. And like I said, directed by Harold Ramis. Any of you don't know, he's directed a lot of other stuff, but he was also a star. He's Egon in Ghostbusters. The movie's filled with all kinds of lines that are just classic, and mainly because of Chevy Chase's dry sense of humor. I mean, just the little things like at the beginning when they're going to pick up their new car right away from Eugene Levy, who's in this movie, just for a second. They realize it's not the car he ordered. He's like, I didn't order this. I ordered the aqua blue.
You didn't order the metallic P?
Metallic P?
I mean, that right away is just hilarious. And every decision that Chevy Chase makes in this movie, he thinks is the right decision, and it just gets him further into a hole, or gets his whole family into a hole. And this was the first of a 5-movie series, 4 really. The 5th one just had a cameo of Beverly D'Angelo and Chevy Chase at the end. I mean, it was connected. It was about Russell and his family, the son. Which that's another thing. In all these movies, the kids are played by different actors every time. And sometimes in movies, they're older than they were in the past movie, and then in the newest movie, they're younger than they were in the past movie. Pretty funny that way. That's obviously on purpose. It's an ongoing joke. This one and the last one, which was called Vacation, no National Lampoon's heading though, were the only ones rated R. And this one I like the R rating because this was when family comedies and stuff were still slightly raunchy. It had something for everybody. And Beverly D'Angelo was so hot. I loved her back in the day. She was actually Al Pacino's woman for a while.
Great ass!
But I love how the comedy was really raunchy in this quote-unquote family film. The movie's great. It's filled with so much stuff that's so dated, but even at the time was hilarious. And now, because it's dated, it even makes it funnier. Like when he's on the computer and he's trying to lay out their map itinerary. Just so stupid. This movie, like a lot of other films at this time, were staples in the industry. They had things that became sort of pop culture household phrases, like Wally World. Everybody still talks about Wally World. And that's where they're going. They're trying to get to Wally World. That's the destination they're trying to get to. It's a perfect depiction of what a family trip's like. Chevy Chase's character is so adorable, and aggravating all at the same time. If you had a good relationship with your dad growing up, most dads were like this. They really wanted the best thing for their family. They had this vision they wanted to achieve, but they were pretty cheesy most of the time. And Chevy Chase does an amazing job at representing that type of character on screen with Clark Griswold. I mean, Clark Griswold has got to be one of the most adorable characters on screen of all time. Like I said, he's ridiculous, but you love him with all your heart. They go in the bad part of town because they're already lost, like right away in the trip, and they pull up, and he says the whole, "Excuse me, Holmes?"
Say, excuse me, Holmes? Aha. What it is, bro?
Too funny. And then when they stop at the hotel, I'll never forget, they do that little homage to the horror scene where Chevy Chase is walking into the bathroom. Beverly D'Angelo is in there taking a shower. And this, I'm pretty sure, was the first movie I ever saw boobs in. Ooh. But like I said, everything goes wrong that they could possibly imagine. They go into a wrong part of town. They get off the beaten path on roads. He falls asleep while they're driving and they just happen to make it to the hotel they're supposed to go to. And when they get there, they try to get in the vibrating bed, and that all messes up. And the kids are always walking in on them doing something nasty. It's great. Clark is just so ambitious. He's always wanting everything to be great. And he's a family man, but he's also a perv at the same time. When they go to the old saloon town scene, the old Long Ranch or whatever, and then one dude just shoots Chevy Chase or fake shoots him.
Hey, underpants. Hey, yellow. I'm okay. I'm okay.
That still had me rolling today. Of course, everybody remembers the Christy Brinkley scene where she's driving next to him with the Ferrari or the Corvette, whatever car she's in. But he's always getting distracted. It's that reoccurring thing that keeps on coming back. And they've parodied that in a lot of other movies since this has come out, including having Christy Brinkley in some of the other movies kind of playing that same role. But man, when he sees her at the park and they're having that picnic and he moseys his way over there and he's got that bologna sandwich, I have never, ever laughed so hard at somebody dancing with a bologna sandwich trying to impress a woman. Still, I'm telling you, go watch it when you get done with this. If not for anything, just that one scene and you'll be dying. The way Chevy Chase is dancing that whole time and he thinks he's so cool, I mean, it's hilarious. I'm cracking up laughing right now thinking about it. And if you've seen any of the vacation movies, there's definitely the Cousin Eddie scene. In this movie, it's a little bit more toned down. It's just for a minute here and there. Later on in the other sequels, they slowly, gradually create bigger roles for him and he has more screen time. But in this one, it's just like one segment. And it's the same wife you see in all the other movies. But again, all the kids switch up every time. And this one of the daughters is actually played by a young Jane Krakowski from 30 Rock.
Oh no, nobody wants to hear that.
I do.
Some folks like to get away, take a holiday from the neighborhood.
She has that one line talking about how she's the best at French kissing.
And I French kiss.
So everybody does that.
Yeah, but Daddy says I'm the best at it.
Ooh. Looking at Randy Quaid in this one, I mean, he was in all of the sequels too, but man, between him and Dennis Quaid got the better end of the stick, I'll just say that much.
I like it better than Tuna Helper myself.
Randy Quaid, even as a young man, looks rough in this movie. And I love the way they make him dress. It gets better and better and better. But like I said, everything that could possibly go wrong in this trip goes wrong, including their Aunt Edna dying on them. And I love it because they end up leaving her on this porch out in the rain on a doorstep. Only Griswold could get away with that, and you still love him. You can see the team and the group of friends that these guys were in real life as far as the people behind the scenes making the films, because like I said, Eugene Levy's in the beginning of it. He was on SCTV. You got Brian Doyle Murray, who's Bill Murray's brother, and he was the writer of Caddyshack. He's in Christmas Vacation as the boss, and he plays like a boss of a hotel camp in this. And of course, we get to see a beautiful breakdown scene of Chevy Chase just losing it.
I think you're all in the head. We're 10 hours from the f***ing fun park and you want to bail out. Well, I'll tell you something. This is no longer a vacation. It's a quest. It's a quest for fun. I'm going to have fun and you're going to have fun. We're all going to have so much f***ing fun we'll need plastic surgery to remove our goddamn smiles. You'll be whistling zippity-doo-dah out of your assholes. I got to be crazy. I'm on a pilgrimage to see a moose.
For some reason, you still love the guy. And ultimately they make it to Wally World, and it's great because he just does something completely unrealistic. He ends up holding the park security guard, which is John Candy, a young John Candy, but holds him up at gunpoint, and they eventually get to have this great time at the park, but it's under a hostage situation. And fun little side note on that, they all said that in real life they got extremely sick filming that day because they had to ride all those rides over and over and over and over just to get the right scenes. Man, I've actually done that before. When I was at Universal Studios one time, I rode the Hulk ride over and over because I had the VIP pass, and it was at the end of the day. And about the 4th or 5th time through, I remember getting off, and for the rest of the night, I was terribly sick. It was just too much for my equilibrium to handle. So anyways, when you're seeing them having fun on that roller coaster, they're actually trying to hold back the puke. But it's an extremely unrealistic ending, and it's a happy ending. But I like that about this movie because it's unrealistic across the board, and it's cute, and it's painting this picture of something that we all have to deal with, family. I think it's great. I think it holds up phenomenally. And the reason they're able to be let go is because Mr. Wally himself shows up, played by Ed Bracken, same guy that was the owner of the toy store in Home Alone 2, written by John Hughes. And it's all good. They get to go home and everything's great and fine and dandy. And it literally ends just like that. And how the movie was opening up, you had all the postcards. Now you have all these pictures of the trip. Very tightly edited movie, very well done. The comedy still holds up in my opinion, and a lot of comedies don't. A lot of comedies, you see them and 2 or 3 years later, that humor is dead. This one holds up, hilarious. I give it 5 Marty Mooses. So National Lampoon's Vacation. Oh yeah, that's some like kettle style popcorn, some ballpark popcorn, love it, classic. Guys, thanks so much for joining me again, I really appreciate it. Remember to click on the like button and subscribe if you like what you're seeing here. About us, BrassReel Brothers on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook as BrassReel Bobby. And you can find me on Twitter, BrassReel Bobby at BrassReel. And be sure to tune in for the next video. Ooh, one I know we all love, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Well, stay safe out there, guys. And remember, if life gives you lemons, make some hot, fresh popcorn.
Oh, come on. It was real. Looked real, didn't it? Hell, I thought it was a real gun.